It's sad to think that the funniest and most entertaining people in the world are sometimes the ones suffering the most. I always look at it as ironic that they're here trying to entertain us, while at the same time trying to hide their sense of worthlessness that they feel every day. And as by just the list of those people we just saw, it's quite impactful because it touches everybody. I'm Frank Wiseman. I'm the Global Account Executive for Target North America. I'm also the co-host of a podcast called Dead Men Talking. It's a podcast for chronically ill people that are trying to find hope when the doctor says there is none. This is a very special day for me. This is my first step in completing the first step in talking about a topic that I'm very passionate about, mental health. And also, it's me fulfilling a promise to my best friend on the day he died. So I might get emotional, I'm just gonna warn you. So Bill Guandolo was my boss, my best friend, and my mentor. And Bill and I did everything together. In fact, in 2003, when Bill hired me, we were on East Boulevard at City Tavern, and we were drinking shots of tequila during my interview. So I found the right company, is what I'm trying to say. And I got back, and I was talking to the girl I was dating at the time, and she goes, "You're hammered." I said, "Yeah, but I think I got the job." And Bill and I had a journey for 14 years that was the most incredible that I've ever experienced. It was the Bill and Frank show when we went out of town. It wasn't even like we were selling anything. It was just like we were entertaining. And it was so much fun. And I can't look at them sometimes. Sorry. Bill and I had that thing, but in 2017, Bill actually got diagnosed with cancer. And he was diagnosed with plasma cell leukemia, a very rare form of blood cancer. And that was a very tough day for me. My hero that I looked up to was hurting. It was the first time that I saw him. Excuse me. It's the first time I saw him. It's the first time I've ever done this in front of this many people. So it's the first time I ever saw him hurting, and it really put a dent in me, because Dana, his wife, called me and goes, "Hey, Bill just called, or Bill's in the hospital. He's dying. His liver and kidneys aren't working. The doctor said he's not going to live through the night." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, this is my mentor. This is my hero." And they're like, "So we got good news. Liver and kidneys started working, but they told me he had 7 months to live." But Bill decided that wasn't in the cards for him. 2 days he was fearful, and I saw fear in his eyes. But it was that day that he turned into Bill again, and he turned into the person I do. And he just defied all odds. After that 7-month diagnosis, Bill was still with us. And Bill knew through his faith in God, his love for his son, and the love for his wife, that he could beat this diagnosis, and he did. I know, because 5 years later, I'm doing a podcast, and we're making people laugh about cancer, which is kind of messed up. But COVID, as COVID did, if you got COVID during that time period, you weren't able to get your treatments. So Bill was surviving all this, but then it caught up. When he got COVID, he couldn't get treatments for 3 months, and the cancer took over. So in June of this year, he died. And I came back from Chicago to say goodbye. I grabbed a bottle of tequila, and I said, "Hey, we came in this way, we'll go out this way, brother." So we went over there, and I started pouring shots, and Dana's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was like, "It's not going to do any worse to him." Jesus. So we drank shots, and we laughed, and we told each other how much we loved each other and what we meant. But then he looked at me, he goes, "Frankie," he goes, "I want you to do me a favor." He goes, "I want you to keep my story alive." He goes, "I want people to know that there's hope when everybody tells you there isn't any." And so, just like any good boss does, he gave me another assignment before he died. So that's why I'm up here, crying in front of you guys. So that's awesome. So like I said, Bill was my boss and he was my mentor, and Bill made the impossible feel possible. He was the most optimistic person I ever met. I mean, he never said a bad word about anybody in 20 years. And a lot of people know him in this room. So through Bill's guidance and through his leadership, I was able to do things I didn't know were possible. I was the youngest person in our company to ever become salesperson of the year. I've won it 14 out of 19 years I've been here. I've been a President's Club award winner every time I've been eligible. I've never missed my quota. And I'm one of the top reps in the entire flooring industry, and that's because of Bill. Bill had 3 H's that he said. He goes, Frank, I need you to be honest, I need you to be hardworking, I need you to be humble. Well, that last part sure as hell wasn't humble. I just told you how great I was. But, sorry. But I tell you that for a reason, because throughout that whole time, I was struggling with severe depression and anxiety, and I was on medication, and really having a battle that I was dealing with that nobody in this room knew I was. In fact, when I tell people, in fact, this is the first time I've told this many people, which kind of feels awkward and very exposed, but it was it was very hard. But Bill let me be me. Bill let me talk about it. Bill let me tell him about my medication. Bill let me have my manic episodes, but it was always positive. So if there's 2 things that I want to do today is, one, I want to talk about how we can manage people with chronic illness and chronic depression, and how we can talk about the sufferers, because this isn't something you Google. This is my journey that I want to talk to you about today. It was so funny when I was going through all this, companies telling me, hey, Frank, come up and teach all our new salespeople. Everybody wants to be like you, in the company and selling carpet, whatever that's worth. But anyhow, but I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. There was days I didn't want to get out of bed. There still are. I had manic episodes, which I feel, that's why I love my wife so much. And in fact, this is the first year I won Salesperson of the Year. I went up there, I had so much anxiety, I wanted to run out of the building. It's supposed to be the greatest day of my life. I beat people that had been in the company for 30 years, and it was supposed to be my glory. I sweated through my suit on stage there. I had so much anxiety. In fact, my opening line was, you're gonna have to excuse me, I'm getting moist up here. Yuck. Who uses that word? For God's sakes. And then they played it on a loop at the last day of the sales conference. So my best day was my most embarrassing day at the same time. But why are we talking about this at a corporate real estate event? That's the question. We heard Robin talk about the Great Resignation. I mean, and that's true. 47% of the people left their jobs willingly last year. But polls show that 75% of Gen Zs and 50% of the millennials left due to mental illness. So this is a thing. We lose 200 million hours of work every year due to mental illness and people missing work. We lose $51 billion in productivity due to mental illness, because it's the #1 illness in America is depression. And we don't talk about it. Depression rates tripled during the pandemic, and we're still not talking about it. So this has to be a question that we have to be asking ourselves, that if we're not taking care of our people, then who cares what the space looks like? Because without the people, we can't do what we need to do. And that's where it needs to start. We hear this term neurodiversity thrown around, and we do a lot of studies at Target, and we talk about how we're going to make product for neurodiverse people so they can learn better and work better and all that. And that's very important. I'm not downplaying that at all. But the people that are on the spectrum, whether you're autistic, whether you're Asperger's, whether you're clinically depressed, whether you have anxiety, whether you're ADHD, I mean, we go through the list. It goes on and on forever. But we got to be able to talk about it. And that's what I hope to bring some awareness to today with me exposing my soul up here. Did you know that 92% of neurodiverse people are more productive than the average worker? But 60% of them get fired. I know, because I've almost been fired 4 times. And if I didn't have Bill, I probably wouldn't be up here talking to you today. 65% of them above higher IQs, which we're saying there's no labor pool out there. but 85% of them remain unemployed. So are we interviewing right? Are we having recruiting correctly? Are we having that dialogue? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. And this is a disability. It's covered under the Disability Act. And I say that because my biggest pet peeve is when somebody sees me going through something and they go, especially type A salespeople, they go, hey, get out of bed. Just rub some dirt on it. You know how to get this. Come on, pony up. And telling somebody with my condition to do that is like telling somebody with no legs to run a lap. It's not physically possible at that time, but people that are like me are scared to tell their boss because they don't want to show weakness because they don't want to get fired. I did this 2 weeks ago with a smaller group internal at Tarkett, and I had customer service people flood in going, thank you. Thank you for talking about this. I know if you're saying this, I can say that. And that's why I'm up here today, because I'm figuring if I can be as successful as I am and be as great at what I do, that anybody, regardless of what their state of mind is, can do the same thing. But we got to just have awareness to it. But what is depression? You know, if I would ask my dad when I was growing up, my dad's a third shift steel worker. If I said, Dad, hey, I'm depressed, he'd be like, so what? I've been depressed 56 years married to your mother. You don't hear me bitching about it. I go, I told my mom that I was coming up here. She goes, and we grew up in Northeast Ohio. We were the kind of family that closed the windows before we yelled, so we were classy, you know? So I told her, she goes, Frankie, why are you going to air your dirty laundry out? Why are you going to tell everybody this? Did I make you sad? Did I do this? I was like, no, that's not what it is, Ma. I go, it's different. It's just a different way of thinking. I mean, that's why I don't like the word depression. I mean, I'm not sad all the time. It's just a state of mind. And sometimes it comes in different forms. I mean, I've seen people overeat. My grandmother did that, and she had a stroke. She used to bake a cake, clean it all up, eat it, clean it all up so nobody knew, and her weight would fluctuate like hundreds of pounds, and she wound up having a stroke. Irritability, energy, lack of concentration, lack of sleep, or wanting to stay in bed all day, and isolation. And that's one of the main reasons I'm bringing this up, because we're talking about not bringing people back to the office. We just said almost 30% of the people, so 1 in 3 people in this room are probably know somebody or is depressed. And if you isolate a depressed person, they will recluse even more. And with Uber Eats and Amazon and Walmart, you never have to leave your house anymore. That's a scary thing for people that are sad and that are going through this. The work is their only connection. And if we take that away, that's a very, very scary thing. So what can we do? You know, what's the call to action? Number one, from the CEO down, we need to start talking about mental illness, not on a poster in a cafeteria. It needs to be part of the conversation. We need to be more transparent about how we have these dialogues. Bill allowed me to say anything that I wanted without judgment. He listened. And like my wife says, I don't need you to solve it, just listen. You know, that's what we need to do sometimes. And Bill also set up expectations. You know, as a diverse person that I am, if you tell me to go up and clean my room, I don't do it as well as if you tell me to go, hey, I need you to pick up your clothes. I need you to pick up the hangers. I need you to do this. If you give me specific deal, I run through walls for you. So Bill was able to identify that for me. We need to eliminate the stigmas around it. There's nothing wrong with you. You just think differently. And humans, by nature, if you're different, we get scared of it. And we don't need to be scared of these people. They're some of the most intelligent people out there. And if we harness it, it's a competitive advantage. Hire better managers. I mean, I believe managers should be charismatic. Charismatic, by definition, is you inspire devotion. People want to follow you. Bill was a charismatic leader. Charismatic leaders need to be in our workplace, and we got to get rid of what I call the Peter principle. Just because you've been here a long time, we don't promote you into a job you're not qualified to do. How many salespeople we promote into managers' positions? I wouldn't be a good manager. I'm a great salesperson, but they try to promote me all the time. I'm like, that's not my skill set. So being aware of that. Started an employee support group. I just started one at Tarkett, and I was telling Courtney earlier, it was so emotional. the people that, because manufacturing, customer service was on the call, and they just opened up. They can't get their medication. They can't find a doctor on our health plan. The ones that are in network, you can't get on, there's a wait list for them. And the ones out of network are so expensive that a customer service rep can't afford to go see them. And they said they can't get their medication. Can you imagine being bipolar and not having your medication and then having to go to work to deal with a customer? That has to be the worst day of your life. We need to be aware of this, because I'm a diverse person, but I didn't know people went through this. I didn't know you couldn't get medication. So being aware of that. The next part, and I'm going to hand it over because I've spoken enough, but the personal, from the sufferer side, by show of hands, how many people know somebody is suffering from depression or has depression themselves? 100% of the room. So maybe it's a good topic we're talking about today. I don't know. But my journey, this isn't something I Googled. This is my journey for the last 14 years. And through the podcast and everything, I've learned so much, but I wanted the people that helped me heal. And one of them's here today. Ranjit from Charlotte Meditation is a very close friend and has, in my opinion, saved my life just by changing the way I think and showing me the powers of meditation. And I wanted him to come here today because there's no way to explain how great this man is. So it's a real treat to have him here, and I'm going to turn it over to him to talk a little bit about meditation.
Welcome. My name is Ranjit. I teach meditation and laughter yoga. How many people have done laughter yoga? Raise hand. Nobody. 6% of Americans laugh. We are a very serious community. Meditation. How many people do meditation? Raise hand. Beautiful. How many people don't have any stress? Raise hand. We all have stress. We all go through anxiety. Stress and anxiety leads to depression. Stress and anxiety leads to depression. And there are problems that there is no facility or medication you can take it to get rid of it. So what do? The best thing is to manage ourselves. And you can all manage your depression. You can all manage your anxiety. How to do it? Meditate, meditate, meditate. And therefore, I'm going to suggest you today how to meditate. It's a very simple method. Just sit quiet and do nothing. I call it nothing meditation. So we are first going to just do some meditation, and then we will have a little time. If my controller allows me to talk, we will talk a little more. So very simple. Kindly sit comfortably in your chair. Put your feet down on the floor together. Keep your back straight. And keep your eyes open. Hold your two fingers like this. Negative, positive system of your body and mind. So we are going to do some breathing exercise. I will show you first. Have a look. You will breathe through your nose in and breathe out from mouth. Inhale through the nose, exhale from mouth. And we do together, keep your eyes open. Ready? Breathe in, hold it, breathe out, out, out. Little more out and hold. No breathing, no breathing. Breathe in again and hold. Hold, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, out. No breathing, no breathing. Breathe in again and hold. Hold, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Breathe naturally and relax. Breathe naturally. Any difficulty in breathing, anybody? No, you cannot have any difficulty. So let's do together again. The same exercise. This time you are going to close your eyes and I will guide you. Close your eyes and relax. Close your eyes and relax. Breathe in again. Hold it. Hold it. Breathe out. 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 No breathing. No breathing. Breathe in again. Hold it. Hold it. Breathe out. 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 Again, little stronger. Breathe in and hold. 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 Breathe out. 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 No breathing. No breathing. Breathe in again and hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Breathe out. Beautiful. Breathe naturally and relax. Keep your eyes closed and relax. Breathe naturally. We are going to now meditate. Just sit quiet and do nothing. Let the thoughts come and go. Let the thoughts come and go. Don't worry about them. You just sit quiet and do nothing. I call it nothing meditation. So sit comfortably and relax. Relax your mind. Relax your body. Relax your mind. Relax your body. Relax. 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 Slowly, slowly open your eyes and relax. Open your eyes and relax. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs and relax. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs and relax. Breathe naturally and relax. What happened?
Very relaxing.
Relaxing. How about you, sir?
About to go to sleep.
How about you? How about you?
Very relaxing.
Relaxing? Would you like to sleep? Who was sleeping? Anybody felt sleepy? If you feel sleepy in the meditation, you have lack of sleep. It's very simple. You do it for 6 minutes and you feel relaxed. I would recommend you do this exercise of meditation 10 times in the morning, breathing exercise like what we did. 10 times deep breathing, Breathe through the nose and exhale from mouth. 10 times deep breathing, then breathe normal. Then tell your mind to relax, body to relax. Relax mind, relax body. Relax mind, relax body. And just sit quiet and relax and do nothing. I call it nothing meditation. You might know a lot of names of meditation. My meditation is nothing. Just so 10 times deep breathing and then sit quiet for 10 minutes in the morning and evening. Wake up in the morning, brush up, freshen up and do it. At night before going to sleep, do the same thing again. If you do twice a day, if you do in the morning, you will have good day, productive day. You will feel good. And if you do it at night, you will sleep better. So choice is yours. It's very simple, very easy, and it is not a religion. Some people think that it is a religion. No, it is yours. It is you, which you have it with you. You will not feel sad, you will not feel anxious, you will not feel stressed if you do it regularly. And as and when you feel anxious or stressed during the daytime, morning, evening, 3-4 times take a deep breath and release. You don't have to close your eyes, just breathe in and breathe out. The more you breathe, longer you will live. So don't worry about breathing. Simple breathing will help you to reduce your anxiety, and twice a day meditation will help you to prevent your depression if you have, or manage your depression. So that is what it is. It's simple and easy, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a real treat to have him here and for him to come and do this, because he does so much charity work in town. And it really has changed my life. When I sleep better, when anybody sleeps better, they function at a higher level. And it's just remarkable. This is a giving session. I see a lot of speakers that want something, and this is purely giving session. So in the bags that are on your seat, actually, Ranjit was nice enough to give free classes at Charlotte Meditation. If anybody wants to continue a dialogue with him, he's more than willing to do that. So the next person that really impacted my life, and a lot of you know him, is Coach Matt. A lot of people know him as Coach Matt, but it's Matt Drinkon with Pro Advisor Coach. And Matt's story is just remarkable because he's another very successful person that ran into some troubles in his life. And depression, sometimes you're not born with it, sometimes it develops. And so Matt has a pretty fantastic story he wants to share with you. Matt.
One more time, let's give one clap for Ranjit and Frank for what they've done. 1, 2, 3. You can do better. 1, 2, 3. All right, so Frank identified it and brought this very challenging and taboo topic into light. Ranjit helped us get into the right mind space. My role here is to provide you with strategies and activities that can help you to play offense against this. Again, who has either felt a depression, fear, anxiety, doubt, or has known someone that has ever had this? Anyone? So that's all of us. Okay. The battle's on, and if you read the stats, it may feel like we are not winning. And in reality, we have an opportunity right now to turn that tide into win. So I'm going to challenge you today to play an offense and to flip that script in your mind in the next 11 minutes. So to get things kicked off, I'm going to ask you, whatever row you're in, to turn to the person next to you, and we're going to do a quick mantra. And this is how it's going to go. I hear you, I appreciate you, I got your back. After me, I hear you, I appreciate you, I got your back. One more time, I hear you, I appreciate you, I got your back. I'm going to give you 45 seconds to talk to the people in your row. You may not know them, that's okay. This is a safe space. This is a place where you have allies in this room. This doesn't just affect that one person that we don't know over there. It impacts everyone in this room in every chair in some way, shape, or form. And we, as the leaders, have got to figure out how we can mobilize and play offense, and connecting is a strong way to do that. So I hear you, I appreciate you, I got your back. I'm going to give you 45 seconds, then we're going to stop it. Okay, the people in your row, if you're standing, the people against the wall, ready, set, go. Yeah. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, in order to get to the light, we've got to go to the dark first. And this is a safe space for whatever you feel to be present with that feeling. I didn't know what that meant for a long time in sharing my journey with this topic. And a lot of you know me as the positive guy, the energy guy. And man, I've been through some fucked up shit. And the unthinkable happened to me on Labor Day of 2015. I'm at a party with some friends and some family, and I'm going down a zip line, and the thing broke, and it fell to the ground, and I landed on my butt and on my back. It wasn't Costa Rican zip line. It wasn't 500 feet up in the air. It was only 15 feet, but imagine someone my size falling 15 feet flat on their back at the age of 36, and it was devastating. In the 9 months after that, my health declined to such a place that I was disabled as in a wheelchair. I had a 1-year-old daughter, and we were 5 months pregnant. And leading up to the day that we had that freedom, that surgery, I tried everything, man. I tried cryotherapy, hypnosis, PT, stretching, psychedelics. I tried everything. And it led to cortisone shots in the spine, and none of that worked, man. So I had to go under the knife and have a spinal discectomy. And that last few days, I didn't leave the house. I couldn't go upstairs. I couldn't get in my bed. I couldn't cook dinner. Couldn't make love to my wife. Couldn't pick up my baby. Couldn't do anything. And we're getting ready to have another baby. And my identity as an athlete, as a tall, positive energy guy, it's shattered. And by the way, I'm still just started a business and doing coaching, and I have my webcam on, and I'm a really positive guy. I had to turn the webcam off for the last 8 weeks before the surgery because I just couldn't do it anymore. I'm coaching people laying flat on my back, and no one could see me. No one knew this. And it was debilitating. And I was really depressed at this time. And that was just a situational depression. Some of us, it could be situational, could be psychological, could be neurochemical, but whatever it might be, that fear, that anxiety, that challenge, we've got to learn to play offense against that, because what we just did a second ago, connecting and people are a strong way to battle it, to have your support system. But I'm going to show you another way, and the way that really served me in coming and fighting back on my own. And I'm going to invite you to take out in your bag here, go ahead and grab out that journal. We're going to do an exercise here, team. And this is the exercise that I did in battling back from my depression. And there's this thought here I want to place in your mind. Feel free to Google this thought. Neuroplasticity. Anybody ever heard of that before? Neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity. What that means is that we are not just the way we think right now as adults forever. We can rewire our subconscious. We can and will rewire the way that we think when we have practice, we have discipline, we have focus. And I'm going to show you the exercises that I did and still coach and teach you this day that can help you develop that mindset. And this may not solve everything. It will and it can put you on a path for healing, as it did me. All right? So what I'm going to invite you to do here, team, by the way, this is private and this is safe and this is just for you. You don't have to ever share this with anybody if you don't want to. You're welcome to, but you don't have to. It's just for you. Just for you. What we're going to do is a timed 4-minute exercise. In that 4 minutes, I'm going to invite you to do this. I'm going to invite you to write a letter to your future self. In that letter, start on the left-hand side of the page with my handwriting, and the right-hand side where there should be a sticker. Fill up both of those pages with the following: something that is affirmative and something that is appreciative. Affirmative and appreciative, a letter to your future self. Something affirmative and appreciative, a letter to your future self. You're going to have 4 minutes, Frank's going to turn the music on. When it's done, we're going to wrap things up with one last simple exercise that will help you in this journey, my friends. Okay? Affirmative, appreciative letter to your future self. Take your time. Get into your spot. If this is not easy or comfortable, it's not necessarily meant to be. It's a challenge. This will serve you in the future. I promise you it served me. 4 minutes, affirmative, appreciative, letter to your future self. Go. Start to wrap up the word you're on, the salutation with love. I love you, whatever it is that you finish up with, that's okay. This is yours. It can be personal, it can be private. The way that I use this, and it was instrumental to help me make a comeback from a really low spot, was I wrote it and I read it to myself every day when I woke up in the morning. Because I can tell you, if you've ever been through excruciating pain and that's all you can think about when you have excruciating pain, like 1 through 10, you're at a 10, or if you're in a depressed place and all you can think about is just how bad it is, we've got to rewire that. And you can battle it in a number of ways. This is one way: the power of positive affirmation, the power of forgiving yourself, having patience and grace with yourself. Last exercise here, team. You can take the bookmark and put it right in there in that spot, and I encourage you to remember that. And use that. Let's go into your Target bag. Sponsored by Deadman Talk. We are Deadman Talking Podcast. And the Eternal Optimist Podcast, I might add, which is mine. Pretty solid podcast. Just had Mark Victor Hansen on. Okay. All right. So, last thing. Reach in and find this little contraption right here. What is this? Okay. This little smiley ball right here. What is that all about, Matt? Why would you put that in a professional business thing talking about depression in the workplace? Here's why. This is your emotional anchor. And we want to anchor in and recall and remember that you have a caring group of supportive professionals and allies who are here next to you. And any time that you start to feel in this challenging way, you can pull out this anchor and you can squeeze it and be reminded of that time where you were sitting next to Mike or Jack or Darcy. You were sitting next to them and someone said, I got your back. I hear you. I appreciate you. I got your back. This is it. Any of you that work for me in a coaching profession, you know that I always have this with me everywhere. Not in the shower, but everywhere. Okay? This is it. We smile at this. We may laugh at this, but you know how laughter is curing, right? This is one of those areas you can use. All right? One last time to wrap things up here, team. To wrap things up. I hear you. I appreciate you. I got your back. One more time. I hear you. I appreciate you. I got your back. Thanks so much, team. Together we can make it a great day. Back to you, Frank.
That was amazing. Thank you, Coach Matt. That was remarkable. You always impress me. Your energy is off the charts. The last treat we have for you is something that I cannot be more ecstatic about. Just one, because we both share Bill Guandolo as a very close friend. The cool part is when I was doing the podcast with Bill, and you can listen to it on Spotify or Apple. It's called Dead Men Talking, and it's we basically chronicle Bill's journey from healing. And the funny part is I was partying a lot then, and like going out a lot and drinking a lot, and I was like, hey Bill, why don't I try all the things you're doing and see how they work on somebody without cancer, and we'll make fun of it. And some of the stuff was awful, disgusting tasting, and we laughed about that. And some of the stuff was really good. But the thing I noticed as I was doing this through the months, over a year and a half that I was working with Bill on this thing, is my manic episodes decreased. I started to be calmer. My temper went away. That was how I dealt with depression. it was fear that turned into anger. And that's why, I think that's why I was in martial arts. It's a way for me to get it out, because I like to fight. But, I got the calm. And so without Billy's message being here, and I know he's here with us now, the next best thing is all the stuff that we were talking about came from William Kane. And he's the CEO of the Nutra Company, author. And I'm going to let William introduce himself, because it's a real treat to have him here. And thank you for being here, William.
Thanks, brother.
Yep.
So you're getting ready for another effed up story, much like Matt's. And I have a very small amount of time, so I'm going to jump right in, if that's okay, with this story that I really empathize with Matt on this. So many years ago, I was skiing in Snowshoe, West Virginia. Anybody skiing there? Yep. You know how cold it is there? This particular day, it was 0 degrees, and the wind chill was 40 below. And I was going down the slope, I was going really fast. I hit some ice, I was sliding on my back, hit something, catapulted into the woods, and I lay in the snow for 45 minutes before the first rescue person got there. And I was in excruciating pain. And I was so confused because I thought I was paralyzed. I couldn't move from the waist down. Neither one of my legs worked at all. Couldn't get them to work at all. But I was in excruciating pain, so I knew if you're paralyzed, you didn't have pain. I was trying to reconcile this, and I was freaked out, right? So I'm airlifted off the mountain into a hospital in West Virginia, in Charleston, and go through a series of x-rays and everything, and they get me in the room, and finally, it's a stressful day, right? And they finally get me in the room, the lights are kind of dim, I'm sort of relaxing just a little bit, still in a lot of pain, but at least I'm getting a little bit of peace. And in walk 5 guys with white coats on. And I'm like, this is not good. I don't know what's going on here, but this can't be. They're not coming with good news. So I was freaked out about that. And they came in and they said, we have some good news and we have some bad news. They said, the good news is you did break your pelvis, but it's not going to require surgery. You aren't going to have pins and that sort of thing, so that's good. However, and keep in mind, I was in my early 20s at the time. However, with this type of break, you may never be able to have children. And my father died when I was 8 years old, and I always wanted a son my whole life. When I was dating my wife, I said, I will have a son, whether I ever get married or not. I mean, I was bound and determined, and here I am, the guy's telling me I may never have children. Then he said, also, you may not be able to go to the bathroom by yourself. We may have to do surgery for a colostomy bag. Man, this is not good news, right? So that was devastating. Now, I'm here to report, happy to report, that I have a happy, healthy 25-year-old son, and I can poop on my own. But I was still in a lot of pain for a long, long time. I went through a very extensive rehab. It was over a year before I could walk unassisted, and I was managing pain. I started with anti-inflammatories and steroids, and I was eventually on psychotropic meds for pain. And the psychotropic meds did work for the pain, but they came with a lot of side effects. So I was taking one medication or 2 medications for the pain and 2 or 3 others to offset the side effect of one. And so I was on a cocktail of medication every day. And over a period of years, it just completely destroyed my health. I had always been healthy. All of a sudden, I had all these chronic conditions. I was introduced to the concept of chronic. I didn't even know what chronic meant at that time. But I had chronic dry eyes, chronic dry skin, chronic fatigue, chronic migraines. I was sleeping 13 hours a day. I was depressed. I was severely depressed. And over a period of time, I really got to the point where I was suicidal because I just didn't have any hope of ever reversing this. I live in Raleigh. I live 20 minutes from the city of medicine. Okay, I was seeing the best physicians in the world. I was doing exactly what they told me to do. And every single day I was getting worse. So I just lost all hope. And I was in a really, really dark place. And a friend of mine said, hey, I heard about this cleanse you can do, and it will cure you of anything. And I was like, now that sounds like some BS right there. I was really skeptical, but man, I was at the end of my road. I didn't have a choice. I would have done anything. I was completely desperate. So I said, okay, tell me more. So there were these people from California. They were coming into Raleigh for a week. They had a hotel. You could go over there and talk to the people. I went and talked to them. Sounded like a bunch of hooey. They said, yeah, this is really going to help you and all these things. And I'm like, man, this something's crazy. And, it was a fast. It was a colon cleanse and a fast. Now, 25 years, at present day, people do that sort of thing. They do, who's done a juice fast? Okay, half the room, all right? And this is 25 years ago. No one had heard of juice fasting. At least I hadn't. Country guy from the South, and so it just seemed crazy. But I signed. I didn't have a choice. So I signed up. I did the thing, and it was kind of a total immersion deal. You didn't eat anything for a week. You took all these herbs and all these remedies to help cleanse and detox your body. And it was really emphasizing cleaning the colon, but it was really a whole body thing. I remember thinking about day 2 or 3 that I'm trying to buy into it. I'm trying to listen to these people, but I'm thinking, okay, let's just say that colon cleansing is a real thing. Let's just say that for a minute, okay? I'm not sure that it is, but let's just give it that it is a real thing. What does that got to do with all the other symptoms I have? What does that got to do with my migraines? What does that got to do with my chronic fatigue? What does that got to do with all these other things? Well, it turns out everything. It's got everything to do with it. It didn't happen overnight, but over a period of years, I was able to reverse all those chronic conditions that the best physicians in the world told me that I would live with for the rest of my life. The body is miraculous. It will heal itself. You just kind of got to get out of the way and give it the right thing. And it will actually, it's always trying to self-correct, always. And I've experienced this myself. I know it for a fact. One thing I learned in that clinic is that Hippocrates said 2,500 years ago, death begins in the colon. Now, modern science has proved there is a tremendous connection between gut health and overall health. But the most recent science is showing how much mental health has to do with gut health. Okay, who's heard of the gut-brain connection or the gut-brain axis? Okay, half the room. All right. The research is I'm a geek on this stuff, so I love it. It's coming out every day. But I want to cite one study for you. I think it really drives this point home. There was a meta-analysis done. They looked at 21 different clinical trials. In every one of the clinical trials, here's what they did. They took a small sample of microbiota, which is the friendly microorganisms living in your digestive tract. Okay, they took them from a happy patient, and they transplanted it into a patient suffering from anxiety and depression. And then they did the reverse. They took some microbiota from the person suffering from anxiety and depression and put it into a happy person. Guess what happened? Happy person became sad, sad person became happy. So if that doesn't make the point that what's going on with our microbes in our digestive tract has to do with our mental health, I don't know what does. I just have to say that the one thing that, Frank asked me to come in and do this, and what is an action item that we can do? I mean, there's a lot to gut health, a whole lot to it. I really encourage you to check it out. But if there's one thing that I believe would make the biggest difference in people's lives, it's the number one biohack, if you want to, is to replace whatever you're doing with your morning breakfast, because most people are doing something unhealthy. They're having a sugary cereal, they're putting milk in there, you got dairy, you got wheat. All those are triggers for our bugs they don't like that, okay? Or they're going through a drive-through or something. Replace what you're doing with your breakfast at the moment with a fruit and vegetable smoothie. I believe that will have the biggest bang for your buck. There is something called the American Gut Project. You should check it out. They are really studying the microbiome and the effects of the digestive tract. And what they've determined is that there's a huge difference in the health of people overall in their microbiota between people who consume 30 or more plants per week and those who consume 10 or less per week. Now, who's getting in 30 plants a week here? Okay, that's tricky, right? I mean, you think you're spending all day. Well, that goes back to the smoothie, okay? It's just an easy, convenient way to do it. You can throw tons of stuff in there. We've got some smoothie samples today. Just on your way out, grab one. That particular blend, I think, has about 40 different varieties of plants. It's got all the common things like blueberries and raspberries and strawberries and banana and papaya and mango and things like that. It's got some spinach in there. It has avocado. And also cheating on this, my company makes a powder called Daily Essentials. It's got over 30 superfoods, so we threw that in there. That kind of pushes it over the edge. But that's the biggest tip I could give you, because that's not only going to support your overall health, but it's going to have an effect on your mental health. The other thing I would be remiss without saying is try to include a fermented food every single day, okay? The process of fermentation breaks down the nutrition, makes it more utilizable by the body, but it also allows you to have billions and billions of microorganisms into your system. Hugely, hugely important to the digestive tract. I'll close with this. You know, most people, I've been doing this for 25 years, and most people, like myself, like our buddy Bill, it takes a real tragic event to prompt them to take action on their health and to turn things around or improve their health in any way. I would just encourage you, stop on the way home today, get a bunch of stuff, start that in the morning, okay? Take that action item right now. It's only the most important thing we have, our health, the most invaluable thing we have, okay? So with that, let me say this one more thing. I do have, there's tons of smoothie recipes you can find online. I wrote a book with some recipes in there. I have a couple other books. If you hit me up at support@fastblast.com, I'll send you all the books totally free of charge. And I'm always available to help anyone who takes on their health journey. You know, I'm more than happy to help. So with that, God bless.
Running out of time, so I'm going to make this quick. I just want to thank everybody for their time. This was very special to me. It was our way to give back and way for me to keep my promise to my buddy. And if anybody's suffering, those bags are there for your first step. There's free stuff in there. Clean Juice actually sponsored. There's ways to get Clean Juice in there. So I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening.